Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning. I just, if I may, make a couple of very short comments to what I heard in the first part so that I can answer better to your question.
Yeah.
Mr. Letta said 2 or 3 things that are important for our discussion. First, fragmentation does not help national interests, which I think is a very important message, which should help us also in being convincing towards those political forces that are today in the European and national institutions, so as not to completely derail, and I will make a couple of examples about it, our digital but also green agenda. Second, he said no treaty changes. I can agree or not agree with that. You know, I am a struggling federalist, so well. But if this is true, then we will need to multiply our capacity of convincing at member states, which goes very much with the third message he gave us. We need to push, and the economic actors need to be much more relevant and much more noisy, if you want. Not all economic actors. I think that there are some which are very effective and which are also helping derailing the green and digital agenda, but those who are actually actors of this change. So I think that this is something that has to be taken into account. Also in the issue of making solutions visible. And there is a concept that has to be very clear also when talking about the energy system and the regulation at the European level on energy and investment at the level of energy transformation, which is also social and economic transformation at European level, which must be very clear. We cannot talk about silos anymore. And digitalization is actually helping in basically get out of the usual distinction that we do in energy, which is supply versus demand. I think that we have to overcome this, and talking about energy efficiency, this is very clear. We need an energy efficiency system, or let's say a system that puts the efficiency as an element that is there for all technologies and for all solutions. And therefore, we need to talk about a way through which the fact of having an energy efficient house means that is also very much using renewables, or it's very much linked to the grid, or et cetera, et cetera. So I think that the challenge of getting more effective in terms of digitalization for the transformation of energy system means to connect all the dots which have to unite the solutions which are helping decarbonization. And not all the solutions are helping for this, because what we have to do is to get rid of fossil fuels. And the fact of getting rid of fossil fuels means that we have to use digitalization to that goal by uniting all the energy efficient technologies that you have in industry, in transport, and in buildings with those solutions which are decarbonizing the energy supply. So I think that that is the real challenge that we have in front of us, which is not only a technological challenge, it's very much a cultural one, and is also one of conviction, because I believe that one of the biggest problems beside the fragmentation that we have in front of us, and it's actually true both for the digital and for the green transition, is the lack of conviction and the lack of sense of urgency. Because if we had a sense of urgency of what is happening around us that imposes us to act, I think that solutions will be much more easy to deploy. And today there is an increasing difficulty in deploying solutions, and the work of the implementation of the EU legislation on the green agenda is now today also politically put in question, which is a major problem also for the digital agenda.
Thank you for not pulling any punches there. Thank you, as ever, very direct. But you're quite right. It's a reminder that it's only in times of adversity we seem to act with you know a sense of unity and common purpose. It's a shame that that has to be the case. But in terms of where you've seen what the von der Leyen Commission's done in the past 4 years. Are you hopeful of the next 4 in terms of the way she's shaped the college and what she's looking at in terms of the kind of portfolios?
Well, I believe that there is a need to consider that the European Union, European Commission is not one person. You know, in my own country, Italy, everybody thinks, or a lot of people think, that everything that has to do with the Green Deal is the fault of Timmermans. You know, so if Timmermans would come to Italy, he would have troubles. But which is completely nonsense, of course. And the same thing happens at the level of this term. I believe that it's going to be a big fight, because I was looking at one of the Conservative Party's paper now that wants to reopen the building directive, the nature restoration directive, you know, using the precedent of the deforestation. So I believe that this is something that we will have to defend, but we will also have to improve in terms of dialogue with the public opinion and with the media, because, for example, the digitalization has a major problem. People consider it to be complicated, to be complex. And I think that that issue of making this transition not only affordable economically, but affordable under a concrete point of view is going to be a big challenge in the implementation of the Green Deal, but also in making that these institutions are not known like those who actually will come back on one of the major achievements of the European Union over the last years. Because it's true, we are probably too much of a regulating entity, but whether we like it or not, the fact that we are a regulating entity had a great impact, not only at the level of economics, but also at the level of the understanding of how rule of law should be worked and should be deployed. And in a way, in a world in which there is a lot of war going around, in which a lot of people think that we can solve problems through guns, I think that this regulation power is very important.
Thank you very much.